Hello, Sarah from Standing Up to Scoliosis and Scoliotemple. Just wanted to do a video today about sort of psychology and scoliosis, and looking at that psychology from maybe a bit of a spiritual sort of perspective, as well as just normal psychology stuff, because I had lots of normal sort of counselling, and yeah, I mean, that stuff applies. I think it applies to everyone, but I don't really feel like that stuff is really the cause of my scoliosis. I feel like there's a physical, injury and damage and trauma that's more to do with why I've got the curve. Although there are, there's always a bit of holistically, a bit of everything linked in there. But from a spiritual perspective, I've found things a bit more interesting. And I've been very drawn to a spiritual sort of meditation path to try and help heal my back when pain and stiffness and things got too stagnated and bad in my life. And I found lots of different things, and lots of different teachings, lots of different beliefs, lots of different religions, lots of different takes on it all. And I just think, first, on like a basic psychological level, I think, emotionally having any kind of disability is such a challenge, where you have to learn to accept and love yourself anyway and find beauty, in darker places and struggles, but also trying to fit in with society and have them fit you in and accept you as well, is a big thing, especially with scoliosis, because it's one of those things where you just get pain if you're sitting for too long, pain if you're walking too long, pain if you bend over and pick things up, pain if you lift something too heavy, pain if you don't do enough and don't lift things. It's just such a tricky thing to blend in and find its place in society, like with the way our society is structured and the different types of jobs that we have, and you have to fit in and you have to become a specialist and really good at this one thing where you're sitting down all day, or this one thing where you're doing this skill all day repeatedly, and that doesn't blend with scoliosis. Scoliosis, wants me to do different things, wants me to be versatile, and I've had loads of different jobs in my life because of it, because I haven't been able to stick for long at one job, because of the issues. So yeah, I mean, finding work is so hard. Finding a job that's going to sustain you, that's going to enable you to get up and walk around, to do some physical stuff and sit down and rest enough. And I'm sure there are jobs out there, but it's I just got quite drawn to a philosophical sort of spiritual path of it, because it kind of felt like the way we're brought up in society and the jobs we're made to do aren't really natural for our bodies. So I've been very drawn to eco living and type of thing, self-sustainable living, where you're gonna do lots of different practical skills, but also you're going to be really looking at your health. I love anything to do with health and fitness, obviously, to help my back. And so having scoliosis psychologically has just been a humongous challenge to start with, fitting in with society, finding my role and my job. But it's taken me on a completely different path, which has been, I guess a lot more interesting than a path that I might have been on if I hadn't had scoliosis. So, on a basic social, psychological level, yeah, fitting in has emotionally been my biggest challenge, and I've fallen out with a lot of friends over this on a level where, when I've talked to them and asked them what happened, there's been two different reasons given to me. One is like complete miscommunication and misunderstanding, where I just didn't fit in and we didn't get each other, didn't understand each other's true intention, which is a shame. But it's quite hard to get over when someone's got it in their head that someone's thinking something about them and they're not, or someone thinks that someone's trying to... I think it's more about what they feel. I mean, someone feels someone's trying to do this or trying to get them to do that when they're not, or, so one is miscommunication, because I'm different. My nervous system, my body is wired differently because of the scoliosis to most people. And another one is, obviously, when you're in lots of pain all the time, some people, psychology, can't deal with it. They don't I mean, some people are just horrible and prejudiced against disabled people. They just don't want to hang around that kind of energy or that kind of person. They think they might get sick off them. But most people, you know, I think they can feel uncomfortable around someone with a health issue, and they don't really know why. And emotionally upsets them because if someone is too in pain and things are too negative a lot. So yeah, finding work and just keeping sustaining a job, finding the same thing, fitting in with people, and just like those things are tough with scoliosis. And then obviously finding self-love when you're feeling a bit of self-hatred, you know, when I was younger, towards your body and your looks, especially as a woman, you know, this is tough. But I have managed to, I mean, I'm 37, I have managed to come to a place where I've realised that, you know, great beauty can come through great suffering and pain. Look at crystals, you know, diamonds, great, you know, beautiful things are formed under lots of heat and pressure and pain. And there was a saying about, I've read about Jerusalem in the Bible, where never have they seen so much pain and suffering create so much beauty in the spirit and the energy. And I love that sort of analogy, because sometimes, you know, I've learned that I can't heal everything, I can't deal with everything. Sometimes the volcano and the earthquake has happened, the damage is done, and the earth is reformed and shaped into a new structure. And sometimes the blood flow can't redirect itself and can't, you know, and changes can happen slowly over years. But having scoliosis for me has really made me aware of nature and the speed of its cycles, and what is realistic and possible with nature and what is not, what is realistic and possible with healing. So I love that. That's why I'm so drawn to the eco and the sustainable living stuff. And that I'm also drawn to the spiritual path, because when you are feeling a bit down, because, you know, you can't always help your health, you take great joy in dance and art and beauty and things that are going to cheer you up on a spiritual level, an emotional level. And obviously a lot of people, you're drawn to this because of a lot of people are saying, you know, for healing you're going to get the best guidance intuitively if you meditate. And I have found that to be the case. I've found lots of lots of things through meditating, through my own intuition, but it's taken many years, you know, and I've made mistakes. You know, that's a whole path, you know. That with scoliosis, again, I found I don't fit into a system. I haven't found a spiritual teacher. I can't fit in, you know, to Buddhism. I can't fit into a particular religion or way, like, or philosophy. Like, I'm part Celtic and I have some Jewish in me, and even some Germanic. Like, I feel I had some Norse sort of Germanic connection as well. And I mean, a lot of those teachings were lost, you know. So when you go on a spiritual path nowadays, you're having like Indian and Chinese, and you're having like a lot of philosophies and teachers that are very practiced in what they're doing, coming and trying to teach you. And it doesn't always, the energy spiritually, although you feel it and you love being around the energy and you believe it's true and it's working for them, doesn't blend well with your physical body. So again, it's like I'm trying to find things spiritual. I'm trying to find a way to marry the spiritual energy with my physical body to heal me when I'm meditating. So I'm having to just like try and, a lot of people in the West who their spiritual teachings got just destroyed by Christianity are having to find healing, you know, intuitively. They're having to just connect to the oak trees and the things that were lost. So yeah, I mean, I do have that side to me, but then I have, because I'm a little bit Jewish, I am drawn to Christianity and that sort of stuff as well. So I do, scoliosis has sent me on a spiritual path of healing the physical body, which is quite a Christian thing in a way, really, because the Christian thing is like, okay, there's one spirit that embraces us all and is like universal, which I believe in. I feel it. I feel that Holy Spirit or Great Spirit, whatever you want to call it. But I think that when you want to heal the physical body, you really need to feel the spirit in your physical body. You can't just be like, oh, there's a spirit everywhere, oh, it's great, it's wonderful, it's love, we're all inclusive. But without a real practice, like a yogi has a real practice, it has a structure. They have their Ayurvedic medicine, they have their yoga, it works on their DNA and their ancestry, it's practiced, it's tried, and it heals them, and it's great. But I don't have that in this country, so I'm, a little bit lost my roots, really, and trying to find, the right foods, the right herbs and supplements, the right things, the right exercises even, like I did professional dance training, and I wasn't, it's quite a patriarchal dance system. We weren't really taught many feminine style moves, like just contemporary dance was the more fluid flowing one. But there was nothing like a belly dancing tour, or nothing, more tribal or organic, or, so yeah, definitely for me, it's scoliosis has opened up a path that I don't think I would have been on or experienced if I hadn't had the health condition. It's pushed me towards those things. It's been a real tough time, a real tough path, but some of the rewards and the benefits and the things I've learned and wisdom I've gained have been really beautiful, like really, something just might have never happened if I hadn't had scoliosis. So yeah, it's been a real journey about health and healing and what's possible through science, because I have my science degree, in physiotherapy, and I'm part of the Myofascial Research Society. So I want to keep things real, what is really possible with a physical body. What can we really do to help the earth heal, sustainably living and all this. But keeping the realism with the spiritual side, in that we do have a spiritual side to us, and I think that needs to be included in health and healing. But we need to understand that we're all different and unique. And one of the biggest things I've learned, about health and healing and how different we are, is just like we all like different foods and different, we crave different foods. Like someone might eat a peanut and it might kill them, but other people, it might be healing to eat a peanut. It's the same with medicine, internal medicines, herbal medicines, and it's the same with therapy, with yoga. Like, are you going to do Tai Chi? Or are you going to do yoga? Or are you going to do, like, some sacred form of contemporary dance? Like, are you going to do Irish, like, Celtic dance? Or, different exercises heal different body types in our soul, in our DNA. It's, like, written in our spirit. And while I do believe that, I believe in like a holy union where we all need to pray together in one spirit, like I'm not all about Jesus, but I believe in a God, like a great spirit, a higher force that balances us all out, that we all have a spark of creation in us that's different, we all have a different gift. So I believe in unioning together in peace, for teamwork, to learn from each other and to live our own truth and gift. But physically, when we're healing ourselves, we have to live our own truth in that physical way. Like, we can't be forcing someone else's philosophy, someone else's therapy practice, someone else's program. And I think with scoliosis, we're seeing lots of different programs out there, and some people are going, oh, well, I've spent the money on this one and it didn't work, or I've done a few. No, you can't just try a few. You have to really find what's really working for you. You have to try loads of different things and then take the good bits from all of them, or just take the ones that work most for you and ignore the other ones. Like, just because the other ones sound logical, it doesn't mean your body will mold into that. Some of us are hypermobile. Some of us are, are more stocky, and like our bones are being squashed, like we're bigger, But some of us are really flimsy and delicate. Some of us suit spinal fusion surgery better than others. We have so many different results with different medicine and therapy modalities. So yeah, that's been a clear theme, on my scoliosis pages with regards to the health and healing, and that blends in with the spiritual philosophies and teachings and religions as well. And yeah, I love that scoliosis, I hate that scoliosis has damaged my physical body, but it's made me more aware of the damage done to the planet and this sustainable living movement and this thing that's happening at the moment. So I feel quite in tune with what's happened to the planet, with what's happened to my body, you know. And I just think, like, I'm just a reflection of what we've done to the planet as a whole, what's happened to my body. So, you know, I'm not like blaming myself for my health condition or even blaming my parents. I see it as a societal bigger picture. Like, there's lots of pollutants and toxins in the environment, you know, that can lead to scoliosis, you know, I've learned. And yeah, it's just one of those things, really. And I'm only 37, and I'm sure got loads more to learn psychologically, and emotionally. I'm sure I need to grow like loads more. But yeah, there's definitely been huge emotional obstacles to overcome and psychological, spiritual things that have really like phased me at points in my life. And yeah, so I don't know, anyone who knows me watches this video, like, I hope that this can shed more understanding, and yeah, I hope people I've been friends with in the past, maybe people can get over their differences, or maybe some people can get over their prejudices about disabled, like, you know, just because someone has a disability or like they make someone feel uncomfortable, it doesn't mean they've got a disease they're going to spread to them, you know. Like, I never had a disease that I know of that caused my scoliosis, so, you know, it could be like an internal toxin or something that's not going to spread to anyone else. There could be in there, maybe make someone feel uncomfortable. But yeah, I mean, I need to develop more of a sense of humour about my health condition and scoliosis. I need to make people feel more comfortable and feel that I'm okay. I mean, because the problem is I don't really feel okay in my body. I feel like something's wrong and I feel like I'm spinning off and I'm not okay with it. But I guess I need to try and embody myself more and get more, just accept and become more embodied and comfortable with, okay, this has happened, damage has happened, things are skew with, maybe they'll never be completely right again. But yeah, I mean, I'm on a massive journey, and so far scoliosis has taught me to be more understanding of people's differences, you know, and be less harsh and critical, like, because some things are really hard to heal and cure and mysterious, and we don't know what's happened and why someone's become damaged, you know. So I have had to learn to become much more open-minded and accepting and less critical and judgmental, and find beauty in dark and light in dark places. You know, realizing that some great inventions come through dark times, like the computer during the Second World War, you know, being invented, and antibiotics being invented during the First World War. You know, we have amazing inventions that have come through dark times. Look at Stephen Hawking, you know, we need to know about everything, wisdom of all of it. There's dark and light on this planet, and I know some really religious people think, oh, we shouldn't, you should just never go into those dark places, we shouldn't study them, we shouldn't invent things, it's only going to create more bad in the world. But I think that, well, why would that invention have come if it hasn't come divinely through God? That inspiration for that antibiotic or that computer, or these things haven't been invented, it must be divinely inspired. So I think that, just staying strong and accepting, okay, I'm going to go through some darkness, but don't judge yourself for that, and try and find light out of that dark place. And having nearly had a near-death experience a couple of years ago, I'm not going to judge myself because I don't have a perfectly aligned chakras and spine. I mean, this is partly why I think I don't really think I wanted that surgery, because it's not all about having a straight spine. Health is about other things. It's about quality of tissue, it's about flow of blood, it's about flow of lymph, and all this, as well as just having more straight spine and balanced muscles. So and I think some religions will be like, oh, you know, the more aligned your chakras are, the closer you are to heaven and God, and the more perfect you are, like the more vegetarian you are, the more pure you are, and they're very hierarchical and judgmental on this. And I just think that it's not true, really. I think that no one knows what happens after we die. No one knows if we really go to heaven or go or reincarnate or what. And I think, like, if someone's suffered a lot, you know, and they've been in a dark place and they've done everything they can to help themselves and get out of that dark place, and they haven't been fully successful, you know, I don't think there's any judgment on them. I don't believe in this. I don't really think it's fair to be, oh, this karma, this judgment, this, you know, especially if you're a child and you've developed a health condition at a young age and you haven't really brought it on yourself. You know, I think it's just about a new perspective. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, before I thought I was dying a couple of years ago, a lot of darkness and fallouts emotionally, and maybe some people I might have hurt and led on a little bit, you know, maybe some karma does exist emotionally, and you do relive the good and bad things before you think you're going to die. But then, you know, I felt like then I was going to go up. It felt all good, like I was going up to a good place. So I just think if you've been in darkness your whole life, don't fear death, you know, as well. That's another thing. You know, don't judge yourself and, oh, I'm not, you know, enlightened or spiritual or pure enough or good enough, and I'm not going to go to a good place after I die. Just, yeah, I've been through quite a bit, and I'm, you know, if I get these rods out and I heal from this infection that keeps harming me, then maybe there's more to my journey to learn, and I hope there's something. You know, I'd love to invent something or do something creative or offer something, you know, through my suffering. And I'd love to be working again as a therapist, and maybe, you know, maybe being able to help other people because of what I've gone through. So, yeah, just that's my scoliosis experience in a nutshell, and I waffled on a bit. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about some of the psychological things and issues that have come up for me. Thank you very much for listening.